walls. Pop a perky just to start a pop. Pop 2 cups of purple just to walls. Pop a perky just to start a pop. Pop 2 cups of purple just to warm my walls. Pop a perky just to.
On October 27, 2020, the Los Angeles Dodgers won their 7th World Series championship. On this special episode, we're going to break down all 6 games that happened during the World Series. My name is Gabby, and this is Baseball Queen Radio.
Welcome back. Yeah, man, how you doing? You good? I know you like that. I know you like that. How long you been back, man? And when this beat drop, I know they gon' lean. World debut, I know they gon' fiend. Everything Mississippi to the Palm Springs. Girls from brunettes down to blonde queens. You know you like that. 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 You know you like that.
Hi everyone, it's November 2nd, 2020, and this is Baseball Queen Radio. Thank you so much for joining me. I am so excited to do this special episode of the World Series with following closely on what happened and the huge gossip that happened during the World Series. So I am so excited to break it down with all of you guys. Every game, all 6 games. Definitely from my heart, I definitely want to congratulate the Dodgers on winning the World Series, their 7th World Series, I should say. I am breaking that streak, so let's go ahead and dive on into this and see what happened. So game 1 came, and the Dodgers ended up winning game 1, so they did have that lead. The final score was 8-3. So let's go ahead and break it down. So top of the first, Margot was up to bat with 2 on and 2 outs. He hits a ground ball, and Kershaw catches the ball and tosses it to first base, and then he was out. So Kershaw ended up retiring that first side, and this really shows how Kershaw has definitely come back and is the pitcher that he used to be. On the top of the third, Kershaw strikes out three batters. He strikes out Zunino, Diaz, and Lowe, which that was his 4th strikeout, and he retired 8 Rays in a row. On the top of the 4th, Kershaw strikes out Margot again. 6 strikeouts through 4 innings, which is very impressive, and he also retired 11 Rays straight, which is very, very impressive to me. On the bottom of the 4th, Muncy was on base. Bellinger ended up hitting a 2-run home run off of Glasnow, and the Dodgers took a 2-0 lead. On the top of the 5th, Kershaw struck out Adames, which that was his 7th strikeout. Then Kiermaier hit a solo home run, and this was his first World Series home run. But the Dodgers still led 2-1. On the bottom of the 5th, Muncy hit a ground ball with 2 on base, 2nd and 3rd. There was a throw to home plate, but it was not on time, so Mookie scored. Smith hits with 2 on, so 1st and 3rd. Seager scores. Cash ended up deciding to pull Glasnow, which I think was a very smart move because he was not doing very good. He was giving up all these runs. But I do feel like he should have pulled him out a little bit earlier for this game. He ends up putting in Yarbrough. Taylor ends up hitting with 2 on, 1st and 3rd. Muncy scores. Hernandez pinch hits for Peterson. Hits the ball into left field. Smith scores, and the Dodgers lead 6-1. This should have shown Cash that his bullpen is not very strong. And that is the one thing that Tampa really needs, is they need a very, very strong bullpen. And they don't have that. Top of the 6th, Diaz hits to Turner. And then on one knee, he throws the ball to first base, and he ends up getting that out. The bottom of the 6th, Betts hits a solo home run, Muncy hits, and Turner scores. Top of the 7th, Brusino hits a line drive, 1 run scores, Kiermaier hits, another run scores, Zunino hits a line drive, Gonzalez catches and throws it to second to achieve the double play. Top of the 9th, Cody Bellinger robs Meadows of a home run. Wendell hits. Kelly tries to catch the ball, and the ball ends up bouncing right off of his glove, and it went straight to Seager. And Seager throws it to first, and that ends the game. I also want to say that I did not say in this is that I know that Mookie stole 2 bases, and hopefully back on the 28th you guys went and got your free tacos. Game 2 was a little bit more interesting. This was the game that the Rays were able to even it out, and I feel like that gave them that boost that they needed. So top of the 1st, Lowe hits a solo home run off of Gonzalez, so the Rays led 1-0. Bottom of the 1st, Snell strikes out Betts and Turner. Seager pop flies out, and he did that in only 10 pitches, which is amazing. Get this man another Cy Young award. Top of the 2nd, Dodgers put in Floro for relief. Adames hits. Margot is thrown out by Seager at home plate. So that was something that was like, oh my god, like what's happening? So, bottom of the 2nd, Snell strikes out Hernandez, and he had a 3-pitch strikeout, which was great. He had a 1-2-3 inning. Bottom of the 3rd, Snell strikes out Seager, 6 strikeouts through 3 innings, which is absolutely amazing. Top of the 4th with 2 on, Wendell hits to the gap of the right field. 2-run score, Rays lead 3-0. Bottom of the 4th, Snell strikes out Smith, 8 strikeouts through 4 innings, and he's not allowed to hit through the 4 innings, which is amazing. Top of the 5th, Lowe hits a 2-run home run off of May, and the lead goes 5-0 with the Rays. Bottom of the 5th, Taylor hits home run off of Snell, and the Rays still lead 5-2. So he ends up hitting a 2-run home run. Top of the 6th, Wendell hits. Taylor catches the ball. Choi tags and heads for home, where he will score. And the Rays now have a 6-2 lead. Bottom of the 6th, Smith hits a solo home run off of Anderson. The Dodgers still trail 6-3. Bottom of the 8th, Seager hits a solo home run off of Fairbanks. This is his 7th home run of the postseason. Loop strikes out Bellinger. And the bottom of the 9th, Taylor strikes out on a check swing. So, with that end score, it was 6-4 with the Rays winning. And like I said, they ended up evening out the series, which I feel like once a team wins, it gives them that little oomph of what they need for positivity. So, game 3, this one, the Dodgers ended up winning 6-2. Top of the 1st, Betts hits to Adames. Choi goes into that split to make the catch, 1 out. Turner hits a solo home run off of Morton. The Dodgers lead 1-0. Bottom of the first, Buehler strikes out low and Arozarena completes a 1-2-3 inning. And also don't forget, Buehler is a very, very young player. He is in his early 20s. So for him to be in the World Series was a dream come true for him. Top of the third, Muncy hits to center field. Seager and Turner scores. Dodgers take a 3-0 lead. Bottom of the third, Adames hits to third base. Turner throws the ball to first to complete the out. Zunino hits the ball to third base. Turner throws the ball to second, and then Taylor throws to first base to get the double play. I think this game, Turner did very good defensively, which is very positive for him, especially for being a player of 10 years. Top of the fourth, Barnes bunts, which that brings in 1 run. Betts hits a ground ball onto center field. Peterson scores. And then the Dodgers lead 5-0. Bottom of the fifth, Buehler strikes out Choi, his 6th strikeout. Margot gets a double. Adames hits one out to left field for the double. Margot scores. Top of the sixth, Barnes hits a solo home run off of Curtis. Bottom of the sixth, Buehler strikes out Zunino, which is his 8th, Lowe, 9th, and Arozarena, which is his 10th strikeout for the evening. Bottom of the ninth, Arozarena hits a solo home run off of Jensen. Choi pop flies out to Taylor for the Dodgers, for a Dodgers win. Let's see here. Which they win 8-3, like I stated before, and they took a lead in the series. Game 4, I believe, was everybody's favorite game, especially with Tampa's rookie, Brent Phillips, him doing his walk-off. Everybody was like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? You know, we're so close. So, game 4, as they call it, was the Rays roller coaster. At the top of the first, Turner hits a solo home run off of Yarbrough, and the Dodgers lead 1-0. Bottom of the first, Margot swings and misses. Arozarena runs to second base. Smith throws to second. The call was originally safe, and then the Dodgers challenged it. So they went to New York. Didn't really go to New York. They called the people in New York and said, hey, is this in or is it out? What is going on? In which the call ended up getting overturned, and that was the out. Bottom of the second, Lowe hits to right field where Betts makes a leaping catch for the out, which, give that man a gold glove. He needs another one. Top of the third, Seager hits a solo home run off of Yarbrough. The Dodgers lead 2-0. Bottom of the fourth, Arozarena hits a solo home run off of Urias. Dodgers still lead 2-1. Top of the fifth, Muncy hits to right field. Renfroe throws to home plate, but not in time. Seager scores. Muncy called out on second. Dodgers lead 3-1. Bottom of the fifth, Renfroe hits a solo home run off of Urias. Dodgers still lead 3-2. Top of the sixth, Hernandez hits to left field. Smith scores, and Dodgers take a 4-2 lead. Bottom of the sixth, Lowe hits a 3-run home run off of Baez. Rays now have a 5-4 lead. Bottom of the 7th, Kiermaier hits a solo home run off of Baez. The score is now tied 6-6. Top of the 8th, Seager hits to the left field. Taylor scores. Dodgers take the lead 7-6. Bottom of the 9th. This is where it gets juicy. Phillips hits to center field. Kiermaier scores. Arozarena rounds third base, stumbles, and ends up scoring the winning run. How amazing is that? So you can, if you look at the replay, Arozarena's coming from second, he's going to third, and he's like halfway between third and home plate. And he falls. And then he gets back up and he's like, oh, should I go back to third or should I go home? And then they end up overthrowing the ball to the catcher. So he just takes it home, and that was the run for them to win it. So at the end of the game, it was 8-7, and the series was tied 2-2. Okay, so game 5. Top of the first, Betts hits to left field and doubles. Seager hits to right field. Betts scores. Due to Ray's error, Seager was able to get to third base safe. Bellinger hits to second base. Seager scores on an infield hit, and the Dodgers lead 2-0. Bottom of the first, Diaz singles. Arozarena hits the shortstop. Diaz out at second, and Arozarena out at first. So they were able to successfully do that double play. On the top of second, Peterson hits a solo home run off of Glasnow. The Dodgers take a 3-0 lead. I just want to say this now. Glasnow did not do very good. And I don't think he lived up to the expectations that the Rays had him, especially during this postseason and especially the World Series, I should say, because I can't judge him on the postseason altogether. And it's very disappointing because you put all your faith into one person, and you think so good of someone, and they just disappoint. So I feel like this series was just not his series to perform. Bottom of the third, Diaz hits the right field. Kiermaier scores. Betts throws to Turner but can't make the play in time. Diaz safed at third. Arozarena hits the left field, brings in Diaz, but the Dodgers still have a 3-2 lead. Bottom of the fourth, with Kiermaier up to bat, Margot breaks for home but is called out. So he tried to steal home base, which is very, very hard. It is a very hard thing to do. Bottom of the fifth, Kershaw strikes out Kiermaier, and that was his 5th strikeout for the night. Bottom of the 6th, Lowe out on a pop fly. Kershaw taken out of the game. May takes over. May strikes out Margot. So May took over Kershaw. Bottom of the 8th, Gonzalez walks Brunausu. 2 on base. Arozarena pop flies out. Bellinger makes the catch. Lowe hits a short pop fly to center field. Bellinger is there to catch for the final out. Bottom of the 9th, Treinen strikes out Adames to win the game. And the final score of that game was 4-2, which put them up on that 3-2 victory. So Game 5 came last Tuesday. And it was a game for the century. Like, I feel like everybody, no matter what side you were on pins and needles. So if you were a Dodgers fan, then you knew you were going to win that night. If you knew you were going to win that night, then you knew you were going to take everything home. If you were a Tampa fan and you knew that you won, then you would have another game to still redeem yourself for Game 7. And I feel like this game, a lot of things that could have went wrong. And I definitely want to break down everything that did happen in this game, and I have a lot of opinions about it. I know a lot of people have opinions about it, especially what Cash did with pulling Blake Snell out early as he did. And then also the Justin Turner thing. I definitely will break that down too. I will give you my opinion on it. I know that everybody has an opinion on it. So, top of the first, Arozarena hits a solo home run off of Glosson. Rays lead 1-0. Bottom of the first, Snell struck out Betts, Seager, and Turner to have a 1-2-3 inning, which is amazing. I feel like Cash should really believe in his players. Top of the second, Flo Rowe strikes out Arozarena in 3 pitches to end the inning, which was absolutely incredible. Bottom of the third, Barnes hits to third base. Wendell gets out in front of the ball and hurdles it to Choi. Choi is able to tag Barnes out. Snell strikes out Betts for the second time. Bottom of the fourth, Snell strikes out Seager, Turner, and Muncy to end the inning, which he was up to 9 strikeouts in that game. Top of the sixth, Gonzalez strikes out Lowe, Margot, and Wendell to retire the side, which was 3 strikeouts in a row. Bottom of the sixth, Barnes hits to center field. Cash pulls Snell and puts in Anderson. Betts hits a line drive double down left field. Barnes advances to third. On a wild pitch, Barnes scores. Betts goes to third. Seager hits towards first. Ball is thrown to home but isn't made in time. Betts scores. Dodgers lead 2-1. Top of the eighth, Urias strikes out Lowe to retire the side. Bottom of the eighth, Betts hits a solo home run off of Fairbanks. And top of the ninth, Urias strikes out Adames for the Dodgers to win the World Series. And the final score of that was 3-1. So, with everything that happened for this World Series, I want you guys to think as fans, and I've thought about it a lot. There was a lot of things that happened in Game 6 that could have been avoided, and I feel like it was just on poor management on their part. And I don't want to say just Cash is going to be the one that is responsible for pulling Blake Snell, because I feel like the Rays front office has a lot of influence on it. Now, myself, I love baseball analytics. That is the one thing that I definitely want to be in. It's the one thing that excites me and makes me happy. But if you have a pitcher that is pitching and he has 1 on base and 1 out, and he only has 73 pitches in the 6th inning, don't you think that that would be very smart to keep them in the game? Especially since he's already struck out Mookie twice. And I believe he struck out Seager twice already too. So the top of the Dodgers lineup was struggling against Snell. And for Cash to pull him, I feel like pulls, ruined the World Series for Tampa. And it's very sad. Because, yeah, I kind of had a feeling that the Dodgers was going to win the World Series because, first of all, Tampa does not have pitching like the Dodgers do. And second of all, they're really just the underdogs. But you really think deep down why you really want them to win, like deep down, because they're the underdogs. They've never won a World Series. You know, this was their second appearance in a World Series. And a lot of these guys that were there have never been to a World Series. So for that feeling. Another thing that I want to definitely speak about, and this is something that really bothers me. I understand that we are currently going through a pandemic and we need to be super careful on what we do and how we do things. In the 8th inning, Justin Turner was pulled due to testing positive for COVID. Now, I am not going to put all the blame on Justin Turner because I feel like MLB should take part of that blame. And the reason why is because I know a lot of people can go down the street and get rapid testing for COVID and get the results in 15 minutes. And I feel like the MLB should have this in place, especially with active players on an active roster. Instead of having a player play for 8 innings and finally pulling them because they tested positive for COVID is unacceptable to me. And I feel like it would be unacceptable for anybody else. Now, another thing is that they ended up putting Justin Turner and his wife in a room in the stadium, in an isolation room, which is fine. You know, get them away from everybody so that there's no further spread. Justin Turner was also instructed by the security guard that was standing in front of the door that he could not leave that room until instructed. Justin Turner ended up taking it upon himself to decide that he was going to leave that room after the Dodgers won the World Series and go out to the field and celebrate with them with no mask on. And to me, in my book, in my book, I feel like that is unacceptable, and I feel like it is a selfish thing that a player could do. I understand that he wanted to celebrate with them, and it's an amazing feeling to win a World Series, especially with being a fan myself. In 2018, I saw Chris Sale strike out Manny Machado for the Red Sox to win the World Series, and I'm not gonna lie, I sat in my bed and I cried. It's just an amazing feeling to watch your team win and to watch your teammates, you know, achieve the goal that you guys had together. But for him to be selfish and not do that is unacceptable in my book. And the security guard that was there, that's supposed to, you know, keep him there, should be fired because they did not do their job. Whether the MLB decides that they're going to suspend him or they're going to fine him or do the combination of both, that is to their discretion. Right now, they're going through the Player Association to see which will be the best punishment in regards to this. I really hope that this does not go towards the whole team. I hope that it goes towards just the player that did this. And the people that were on the field and that were near him, I really hope that nobody in their family or them themselves have tested positive for COVID. But we'll definitely find out in the upcoming months. So that is the end of my episode. I hope you guys liked it. I know I got a little too emotional about what happened with the Justin Turner thing and the Blake Snell thing, but You gotta understand where I'm coming from. So if you guys have any questions or anything you would like to suggest, please feel free to comment below. I am very open to comments and concerns and suggestions. I love them. So I would greatly appreciate it if you guys would do that. Also, just don't forget to keep up with me on our Instagram page, Baseball Queen Radio, where I post daily of different stuff that's going on. And also, now that I think about it, we're in postseason, so it is free agency season. So next week, we're going to go ahead and dive back into our Decades series with our outfielders. And we're going to also talk about the current free agents that we have on the market and to see who's been picked up. And I'm very excited for that. So, as I say, peace, love, and Baseball Queen.